So aviation projects are unique because we've got to make sure that we don't compromise A, the security of the airport, and B, the safe access for passengers and staff. The suppliers that are here are key to the success of Mace.
I think it's the environment, right? So we always get told that this is an airport first and a construction site, well, not even second. So a lot of our work is done at nights. There's a big emphasis on planning for things. Some of the larger projects, there could be months worth of planning for a single night activity. And that is purely because we need to make sure that what we do does not impact the airport operation, as well as obviously safety and quality.
At the beginning of 2019, Mace were constructing some data centres in Dublin, and we became aware of VisiLean and the system that was being used out there. And I liked it, but for aviation, I felt it needed more. So my intention was break VisiLean, and if I can't break it, then it works. The first project we started with was the Border Force project, an asbestos environmental clean project.
We engaged with the VisiLean team, and they tailored that just to our needs, really. It was a very small project. It's not a big or particularly glamorous project, but it did allow us to educate the supply chain, educate our own teams on how to use it, and it was a better glide path into delivering it to the wider projects at the airport. Where there were a few areas we needed to address certain KPIs that we weren't doing, the VisiLean team were always on hand to then make those tweaks and make us compliant.
To be able to deliver a project within that environment, you have to plan your works accordingly and make sure that you're not interfering with those live operations. You don't want to be seen, but you want to be able to deliver at the same time. A digital tool, the benefits of having that is the sort of single source of truth, to be able to keep everything in one location.
As someone who generally oversees multiple projects, I can have instant access to individual projects at the click of a button. So whereas before that would mean trawling through filing systems, SharePoints, to find Excel spreadsheets that may or may not have been uploaded by certain individuals, I can now be given access and click on the tiles to see the performance of those projects.
It definitely saves time. I think a lot of construction managers are time-starved, so the more time they can save, the more they can get done. And I think the main benefit to that would be if you can get out of work by 6 o'clock, get home and have your dinner and relax for the evening, you're far more productive.
A digital platform such as VisiLean is very optimal because I can actually log on to the system and find all the things that I need available there, and it's all live information, so I'm not looking at past data.
The two biggest benefits would be within our construction management team. Traditionally, our construction manager would have to collate dozens of spreadsheets into a single format to then present and coordinate within a meeting. And then all of those outputs had to be manually put into graphs and charts to identify constraints and reasons for delay. So that was a very manual process up front and at the tail end of it as well. With bringing in VisiLean, there is none of that at the front end. It's all accessible either by an app or on the computer. It can be done daily or weekly at whatever time frame suits, as long as it's there for the meeting. There is no having to bring that together. The software does that for us. And then, as I said, post-meeting, the dashboard, the outputs, the constraints are all just there for all to see.
The average supplier might have had 3 pages, A3, that probably ended up in the bin. That doesn't happen anymore. You're not using electric to print, you're not using the ink, and you're not using the paper, because it's now on the screen. So there's a benefit there.
The VisiLean software and the way we're using it is used to plan the works very well. So it's collating everybody's activities, linking it to a program which was never really done before because they were separate platforms. It's the same process but digitally made easier to do.
There's all those little benefits that nobody sort of sees. Sometimes they just look at VisiLean as the global. But when you do a deep dive into it, you have got all those benefits.
The VisiLean platform is ideal for any build project. It could really be a one-stop shop, growing on from where we started.
I find VisiLean to be very, very user-friendly, very collaborative and very helpful. If I send an email to VJ or Darren or any other, generally I've got a response very quick. And that's a breath of fresh air. The whole VisiLean package fully understand that there's a lot of people out there who haven't been brought up in a digital age and they need to be helped along that journey. The important thing is you've got the support. A system is only as good as the support behind it. And I think with VisiLean, the support they give, it's superb.